Okay. I
Thank
trust
you.
play.
Thank you. Yeah, and then I guess we'll grab the other girl.
Yeah.
Alright, so for a big dog like this, a big older girl, I go up at the umbilicus. She has a little tiny hernia. But also I do tie their legs down so that their ovaries are nice and loose. My incision is maybe an inch long. During the abdomen. So sometimes if I push up on the body wall down below, it'll help me get the uterus out. Trying to get the ovary up in my thumb and my forefingers. I have the suspensory kind of stretched out along my middle finger. Except it's rolling off. But I have it stretched out. I know you can't really see, but the cranial edge is just along my middle finger, and I nick it instead of trying to stretch the suspensory. And sometimes I just nicked the most cranial edge of that, and sometimes that is enough to stretch it more. I actually think I'm gonna nick it just a touch more. Release it. Window, and I go across the hole proper. And I take big long carmelts. Go down as low as I can under the ovary with one carmel. Guys! Yes? I'm videotaping. Can you shut the door, please? So I have a good amount of space between the ovary and that carmel. Sometimes I have to walk it down a little bit more. Get a second carmel on there. Still have good space between the ovary and the carmel. And on the second carmel, or the more the outside carmel, I do 3 clicks. So on here, I take a blade and I cut before I ligate. I start caudally, I go high, and then I aim ventrally as I go cranial, and I pull the ovary up like that, because a lot of times it'll just tear, and that will leave you a decent tag. Always use aught on big dogs, sometimes even size 1. Go around the carmel handles, do modified millers. little bit of body wall in there in that bottom caramel, so I just tore that through. All right, so now it's going near the crush, where that bottom one is, or it's going right under that deeper caramel. I snug the millers, but I don't make it super tight yet. At the very last minute, I release that deeper caramel. Slide it up and drop that deeper caramel by accident. It's okay. The longer caramels help keep the pedicle up and out of the body because the tips can rest on the front of the body. So since I dropped that one, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, but I'm gonna try to do it with a regular cryle since we don't have a ton of caramels. Leave my tags a little bit long just in case I have to go in and find them for any reason. Miss Connie, can I get another long caramel, please? Just gently grab underneath with the forceps. Changed my mind and went back for a caramel. Trying to get the ovary out as much as I can first, but I don't have a lot of room. There we go. Do you mind bringing the camera over to this side so I can show her how I nick the suspensory? So she can, you can pick it up and just carry it over, like the actual phone. You can carry it.
That's okay.
Okay. So I just want to show how.
We have to give you a little tray right here for a second.
So, okay, you can back it up a bit. I'm gonna get my blade, which, okay, so the suspensory is rolled out under my middle finger. I can feel I'm on that just cranial edge, and I'm just gonna nick it.
I think I probably need to come over this and see what your hand is.
So I'm just nicking there. Okay, now we can go back to that side. So I just nicked it instead of tearing it, which is much, much easier. My window. And go through my window and across the proper. That one can just be a Cryle or Kelly or whatever.
There should be some more in the lockbox too.
So, deep caramel.
You good? You shut over there?
Superficial caramel. And you can see I'm starting up high. That's where I start my cut. Angle down as I go cranial. It gives me a good tag, and I pull the ovary up as I cut down toward that caramel cranially. Throw the modified millers around the caramel handles. Slide it up and over. Kind of snug it, but not all the way until I release that deep caramel. And then snug it in. I'm going to do it that way. It just snugs into that crush. Again, leave long tags. The scissors are not great. On her, I am going to do the broad. I don't always, though. Do it the same way. I do a cutaway on the broad and then just go around the handles of the instrument. And then I do not clamp the uterus before I put a ligature on. I usually just do one ligature. I'm gonna go right below the bifurcation. Just do modified millers. If it's something that was pregnant or it's a huge, huge uterus, I will often do a transfix. But typically, the 1 miller is enough. below the bifurcation and I cut right above the bifurcation so it leaves a little whale tail. Sweep. And that's it. And then I close. Usually we'll just use the same suture, use an aught for the linea, and then a modified Colorado, which is just a continuous between the sub-Q and the skin after that, and keep the skin as a subcuticular. So, just a little body wall bleeding. That's it. Thanks, can you push my button? Thank you.